What's up, Saints fans? Help us get to 8,000 subscribers here on the channel. We only need 228 more to do so. Now, the mailbag that's coming up here, if you enjoy it, if you like it, and if you're like, wait a minute, I got a lot of questions that I want to see answered on a future show, the only way that that's going to happen is if you subscribe, because every single question that I answer is from a subscriber. So hit that big red button and turn on those notifications. It's Saints mailbag time here on Saints Now. Mitchell Wren's ready and eager to get into all y'all's questions. But before I do, today's show is presented by Aura. If you're trying to just stay safer and be smarter on the internet, there's one place to do it and one place only. That is at aura.com/chatsports. Go to that link below. Start your free 14-day trial. Let's face it, we use the internet now more than ever, and it's smart to not only protect yourself, but also protect your loved ones. Let's go to the first question coming in here from djCatScanRL. What's the detailed status of the Louisiana Leg, Wil Lutz? All I heard is that he was spotted at OTAs, nothing further. NOLA was likely a playoff team last season, had those horrendous misses, extra points too, shake my head, been successful, WhoDat for life. So you're looking for an update on Wil Lutz. Luckily for you, I have it here. Yes, he did miss all of 2021 with a groin injury, and it was like 11 months he was out because of that groin. But on June 13th on Instagram, he posted that he was cleared to play, and everything that I am reading, everything that I am seeing is that he should be good to go for training camp, and they're hoping that they can get him out there in the preseason. Now, this is what he posted on Instagram back on June 13th. After 11 months and multiple surgeries and setbacks, I've officially been cleared. No words can explain how hard these 11 months have been mentally and physically, but it's out of a whole new perspective and motivation to get back to the top. A lot of work ahead, but I can't wait to be back on the field helping this team win games. Now, Wil Lutz in 2020, since again, he didn't play last season, was 23 for 28 for field goals, which is an 82.1%, which actually is one of his worst seasons of his career. Extra points, though, 57 to 58, that is a shit ton of extra points with 98.3%. When you think about all the Saints kickers last year, and the main kicker was Brett Maher, and, well, I could have told you that this one was going to be a bad one. 25 of 30 from field goals, so the Saints kickers were actually better in field goal percentage at 83.3. However, extra points at 31 for 38 with an 81.6. That was the worst in the NFL last season. So, yes, Wil Lutz is healthy. I anticipate him to be the main kicker, but if they wanted to save a little bit of money, they could potentially do it. So this is what I want you guys to do, though. I want you to show Wil Lutz a little bit of love, and I know he's excited to get back, and I believe that you guys are excited to have him back as well. So show the kicker some love. Type his number in the comments. Show some threes down below. Let's go to Cam Armstrong. You're next up here on Saints Now. What will the most exciting Saints game be this upcoming season? As your picture's a crying Jordan head. We're going to go through the entire Saints schedule because I do think there are some intriguing games. Now, if you're a diehard fan, I always say week 1 is an important one, and it's up against the Falcons, which I know a few Saints fans, I know a few Falcons fans, and they always say that this is like the biggest rivalry on their chart personally. Week 5 through week 8, I know the game that I'm going to be watching very closely is the Week 8 game up against the Raiders personally, but hey, that's for those of you that don't know a little bit more about me. Thursday Night Football against the Cardinals, that should be an intriguing one. Week 9 through Week 12, you get to take on the defending Super Bowl champs in Week 11, the Los Angeles Rams. The 49ers is a tough game as well. And you know what? We're going to go through the rest of the schedule in just a second, but this is something that I want you to do. Get started with Aura. Why? Financial fraud protection. You don't want to be just getting some financial advice from some guy maybe named Schmitchell Schmenz. Like, no, that's not going to happen. Identity theft protection, online and device security, and family plans to protect you and for other people. All you got to do is go to aura.com/chatsports, shop, bank, and work online more safely and privately. I mean, $56 billion was stolen back in 2020. Every 14 seconds, somebody loses their identity. Why? Because sometimes people just want to be you more than they want to be themselves. It's the harsh truth, but that's the world that we live in. So start your 14-day free trial, aura.com/chatsports. You work hard for your money, and I don't want anyone to steal it. All right, let's now continue to go here through the Saints 2022 schedule. You got the Buccaneers week 13, a very, very late bye week in 14. Week 15 versus Atlanta, and then to round out the schedule, Browns, Eagles, and the Panthers. But the question was, which game do I believe is the most exciting? Before I give my answer, I want to know from all of you at home watching, or maybe you're on the road watching or walking your dog, whatever you're doing, which Saints game will be the most exciting this upcoming season? Let me know what you guys are thinking, because for me, the game that I'm going to keep my eyes on closely is Week 1, because I just want football to be back. But Saints versus Buccaneers, Week 13, and you want exciting? That's Monday Night Football. This could be the game that really, I think, determines who wins this division or not, because sure, you play the Bucs in Week 2, but if there's been one team that's been able to give Tom Brady some fits, it's been New Orleans, and this game is at home on Monday Night Football. Let's go to the next question. I don't know your first name, but I'm going to guess this is your email, RamseyKennedy.rk@gmail.com. Everyone send him a friendly email. I don't like Pete at linebacker. He can't cover, man. I wish we had signed back Kwon Alexander. That's the weakness of the team, Pete at linebacker. You know, I actually don't 100% agree with this. Now, are Pete Werner and Kwon Alexander two totally different players? Yes, they are two totally different players. And last season, the Ohio State Buckeye had 62 tackles, no sacks, 4 tackles for loss, 0 forced fumbles, 0 fumble recoveries. But he's a better run stopper than he is a coverage, and maybe depending on certain situations, that's what you're looking for. Compared to Kwon Alexander, on the other hand, where he had 50 tackles, 3.5 sacks, 7 tackles for loss. But Kwon's biggest problem over his career, I should say, is realistically being able to stay healthy. Now, you can look at certain numbers, you can judge based on certain things, but I did want to pull up the PFF grades of both Alexander and Werner, because they are a little bit different. Where Werner last season had a 79.9 overall grade, which that's almost really, really good. In fact, I would say it's good. A run defense grade of 91.0, but to your point there, gmail.com, his coverage grade is a little bit lower at 61.8, no doubt about it. Kwon Alexander, on the other hand, though, he had the overall grade of 53.9, was better in coverage at 67.6, but was horrible against the run, was not very good against the pass, and depending on what certain schemes you're going to be looking for and how much money you have to pay Kwon, plus you don't know how healthy he's going to be, I don't know if it's a fair assessment. So how about this, right? You got both linebackers on your team. Kwon Alexander is a free agent as it stands right now, but let's say both of them are on your team. Who's the better linebacker? And I always say not who's the better linebacker, but who's the better linebacker for the Saints? That's the way I would phrase it. So type PW for Pete Werner or KA for Kwon Alexander. All right, the next question is coming in here from Michael Jacobs, which is either a Josh Jacobs burner account or a cousin or some sort of family member friend to Jacobs. Saints, we need Josh Jacobs at running back. So Jacobs is entering his 4th year with the Las Vegas Raiders, coming off a pretty solid season where he had 872 yards, 9 touchdowns, but the Raiders' offensive line last season, it really struggled. But when you really think about the fact that this young man has had 28 rushing touchdowns in his first 3 seasons, I do think that's pretty spectacular. And he might not be the pass catcher that Kamara is, though most running backs aren't. His ability to run between the tackles is pretty solid. And for the Raiders' running back room, it's pretty stacked right now. They drafted Zamir White out of Georgia in the 4th round at 122 overall this past year's draft. They also have Kenyon Drake, who just got cleared and who participated the first day of training camp. They also have Brenton Brown, who they drafted. They signed Brandon Bolden. Like, this team has some options. The issue is here, the Raiders aren't going to trade away Jacobs. I understand they turned down his 5th-year option. There's been plenty of rumors around this happening, but Jacobs is not getting dealt away. I do believe this is going to be his final season in Las Vegas, but if you wanted to trade for a running back on the Raiders right now, the easiest guy to make that move for, and it's a guy we've talked about multiple times on the show, is Kenyon Drake. The final question on today's mailbag is from all the above, which usually is the answer I would go with on majority of my tests, which is probably why I didn't go to Harvard or Yale. Shout out to Centenary College. New subscriber here. I heard some goofy goober. I'm a goofy goober. Rock. Say we trade Michael Thomas and a 2nd for Nick Chubb. Does anybody know where that reference is from? I'm a goofy goober. Okay, I was just making sure. Chug's got it. Who says no? So this is the trade that you're essentially cooking up here. I don't know who came up with this idea, but I want to make it clear it was not us here at Chat Sports. Nick Chubb goes to the Saints. The Browns receive Michael Thomas and then a 2nd-round pick in 2023. I'm going to tell you who I think won this deal because I think it's pretty one-sided, but, I'm going to ask you first. So type Saints if you think the Saints won it. if you think the Browns win this deal, type Browns. Don't get me wrong. Nick Chubb posted a video of him squatting 615 pounds in the bar. It looked like a wet noodle. It was incredible. This man is a phenomenal running back. But for me, the Browns clearly win this deal. I am not a believer that I like to invest high draft capital in trading for a running back. Even though Chubb to me is one of the best backs in the entire league, I get it. But he's also had some injury concerns, and I understand the frustrations around Michael Thomas. But moving on from Michael Thomas and giving up a second-round pick for a running back, I'm sorry, man. I'm just simply not going to do that. So if you guys like today's show, remember at the very beginning I said the only way you're going to get on the show is if you're subscribed. It's also kind of a lie on my part. You have to be subscribed, but you also have to use hashtag Saints to be in our next mailbag. So whether we make a community post or if you just want to throw some questions down below on this video, producer Trayson, when he gets back from vacation, because he's been floating down some river for the past 4 or 5 days. I don't know what the hell he's doing. He's going to take some of these questions that you guys... What is it?
He's on ayahuasca right now.
Is that the river?
No.
I don't even know what that means. All right, so totally off tangent. If you want to be featured in our next mailbag as I talk to our producer Chugs, use hashtag Saints down in the comments and make sure you're subscribed.